I had to take Xanax every day not every day, but probably a few times a week for anxiety attacks
Yeah.
before I started carnivore. And I have not had to take that medication for the entire time. I've been carnivore for almost 2.5 years now.
I did a lot of reading, meditation, prayer, but it was carnivore that sort of cleared the mind, took the brain fog away,
Yeah.
and gave me my ability to listen to someone angry or complaining without me getting angry or begin to complain.
Sure. Yeah. I'm definitely operating at a much higher optimal baseline coming from a background of depression and anxiety. Now, yeah, I just respond so much better to any difficult situation that's out there. 100%. Are you ready?
I am ready.
He's ready. I am here with Dr. Kiltz, and I have so many questions for you today. You ready?
I'm ready.
It's going to be so much fun. I want to start by hearing a little bit about, your medical career. When did you decide that you wanted to be a doctor? Where did you go to school? And where did you begin your practice?
My elevator speech.
Yes.
Let's see. Born and raised in LA, kicked out of school in a gang, couldn't read, father in jail. And so I was a street kid. I couldn't read. I had migraines since I was a little kid, and I had bowel problems, and I literally couldn't sit still. And in school, I couldn't read. And in the fourth grade, Mrs. Hafner embarrassed me by kissing me in front of the class because I was a math whiz, but I didn't know it. And but I was a worker. I love helping around the house, and I was a potter. I love pottery. Mrs. Wong taught me to center myself in high school, and then I did jewelry making, and I worked at the Broadway department store, worked at Dodger Stadium. Since I was 13, I worked at a boat launching ramp down in Southern California, Newport Beach, and after high school, I went to Los Angeles City College, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. I took art classes. I thought I wanted to go political science and economics, and I broke my leg at age 19 and met a doctor, and I said, that looks interesting. I went to the counselor's office and I looked at what it was going to take, and I said, no, I'm screwed. But I was persistent, hardworking. I decided to go that way. And one other caveat is my sister, Marianne, had diabetes since age 4. She was 3 years older than me. She was sick all the time, and I saw the suffering that she went through and my parents went through. And eventually, she died at 52 of heart failure. The same time, my best friend died at 52 of cancer, and he was a healthy guy. I knew why my sister died. I didn't know why he died. And so I went into medicine, inspired by my sister and a doc when I was injured. And I initially wanted to go into family medicine. I actually did a year of internal medicine. I love delivering babies in medical school. That was like, oh my God, the best, funnest thing. And I'm a little bit of a touchy-feely, love emotions, love to talk, love caring for women, who was sort of my focus and at that point. But I'm a surgeon. I'm a mechanic. I love fixing things. And so I went into OBGYN, and I eventually went into fertility practice. Someone called me one day, say, do you want to do a fellowship in fertility and focus on it? I'm like, sure. But then I hated it. Then I went back to general OBGYN and fertility. And over the years, I've just focused on fertility. And about 20 years ago, I started integrating yoga, acupuncture, massage, meditation, prayer, and then paleo diet. And eventually, I personally found keto and carnivore almost 15 years ago. And my love is practicing medicine, but it's also teaching people a new way of healing. And for me, keto, carnivore, faith, and fasting has been my big direction.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you do amazing work. So it's very clear that you're passionate about it.
I feel very blessed to be in science and medicine, but more blessed that I've learned some ideas that are kind of way out of the box of our standard treatments.
Yeah, and that is translating into helping your patients too. You've been very public with the fact that you follow a carnivore lifestyle. Can you tell me your carnivore origin story? Like, how did you get started? Who were your big influences when you were a newcomer?
Well, 20 plus years ago, 25 years ago, Atkins, and I was a crazy exerciser to try to stay lean and healthy, but I ached all over no matter what. And my patients actually taught me paleo diet 20 plus years ago, and they were getting pregnant on a diet, and it was paleo diet. And so I started reading all about paleo diet. I'm Italian culturally. My grandparents are from Italy. We lived that Mediterranean diet. I ate everything. And so in science and medicine, really, we never talked about diet other than, oh yeah, you eat a healthy diet, you're okay. Diet doesn't matter. And when I found paleo and started looking at it more, trying to understand the science, and then Marie Emmerich, I learned about keto and carnivore. I don't even remember who it was. I was just watching the internet one time, and I saw someone that was lean and ripped and didn't exercise and only ate meat. I was like, I'm doing that. And so I've been carnivore almost 15 years, and it was keto, paleo. I got better on all my diseases. Keto got better again, but it was carnivore that in 1 month, arthritis, psoriasis, migraines, kidney stones, bowel bleeding, hemorrhoids, depression, anxiety, worry, fear went away.
Wow. Wow. And that was within a month?
That was within a month, nearly 15 years ago. And I'm a carnivore, but I sometimes have a cookie, cake, ice cream, or a fry, but not very often.
Right.
And I'm very strict on eating fatty red meat is my go-to. Rare to raw is my go-to, with salt, some butter. And yeah, it was amazingly quick. And when I realized that we're allergic to the food we're eating
Right.
as the primary cause of disease and nothing else. It's kind of like poison ivy disease. You ever had poison ivy?
Oh, yeah.
But did your doctor say you have poison ivy disease? This is genetically predisposed. It's very common. And here's a drug for you to take the rest of your life.
Right. No, of course. No.
Just stay away from poison ivy.
Yeah.
Right. But nobody says, oh my God, you mean it might be the cereal, the rice, the pasta, the bread, the kale, the asparagus, and all these other things. Nobody says that.
Well, no, and they're actually pushed as superfoods. They're actually pushed as like, this is what's making you healthy. This is where you're getting all your vitamins and minerals.
And we still see that in even the keto world, the paleo world. And how can you stick to a carnivore diet? It's so limiting. These are what we're hearing every day. And I try to at least give people knowledge of what they can do to change what they put in their mind and their mouth that might help them express something different in their lives.
Yeah, right. Well, I think the only people that are saying carnivore is restrictive are people that haven't done carnivore because I don't feel it's restrictive whatsoever. I feel great. I'm very healthy. I have no issues, and I get to eat a steak and bacon and eggs every day.
It's what we evolved doing, is eating primarily raw fatty animal meat.
Right.
And we didn't evolve eating salad and pasta and bread and yogurt. And it is quite amazing. And I always have to say, someone says it's limiting. I say, well, are you married? And they say, well, yeah, I'm married. I say, well, do you have girlfriends or boyfriends on the side? I mean, that's limiting, right? Right. Of course.
Yeah.
But that's the best life you can live, is actually a very narrow, limiting diet lifestyle. But it's not limiting. It actually opens up so much more in your life, wouldn't you say?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I love that you said that occasionally you'll have, an ice cream or a French fry, because I do that too, once in a blue moon. But I'll tell you, if I have something that's like very high gluten or very high carb processed, my left knee starts hurting almost immediately.
Yeah.
It's amazing how quickly the inflammation comes back. It's mind boggling to me that it's that quick, but I think that's also our bodies showing us and telling us in the way that our bodies communicate, which is usually through symptoms and things like that. You shouldn't be eating this. This is poison.
My daughter's allergic to avocado and bananas, and she just had a baby, Julio, 6 weeks old.
Congratulations.
Oh my God. Amazing. He's amazing. I'm going to go visit tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. But Julio was a little upset stomach-wise a week or two ago. And I asked my daughter, what did you eat? She said, garlic.
Oh, no.
And I said, you can't do that anymore.
Breastfeeding.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's breastfeeding. And
Yeah.
so everything that mom eats
Yep.
is expressed in the mother's breast milk. So I think that's one of the things that we need to realize. Abraham Lincoln's mom died drinking milk. Well, because that cow ate something harmful or it was concentrated in the milk,
Right.
the breast milk, and she ate it. So
Wow. It's wild. I mean, I guess for us, we've been doing carnivore for so long that it's just so clear. We're out of the matrix. We've taken the red pill, I think it is, and we just can't put ourselves back into it because we know the effect. But for somebody that's coming from like a standard American diet or vegan, vegetarian, and just that has been what has been pushed on them for so many years, I think it can be hard for them to wake up to that until they try it themselves. I mean, what would your advice be for somebody that is, following the normal dietary lifestyle, but having all these symptoms? Like, how would they come to carnivore and waking up?
Master Yoda once said, "Do or do not, there
There
be
is
no
no try.
try."
Yeah.
And ultimately, we're explorers. Our job is to explore in life and do something different than we've done in order to get something different out of what we wish in our lives. And so many people have been suffering. When my best friend from medical school, Dave Kilmer, died of cancer at 52, lymphoma, and it was 3 months. Hey, Rob, I've got this thing. And 3 months later, he was dead. It was like, I wonder why. Now, he's a really great, healthy doc, amazing father, husband, sibling, and great, amazing friend. It sparked my curiosity. Well, what causes disease? And we know the work of Otto Warburg and Thomas Seyfried talking about sugars causing cancers. I'm like, well, Dave really loved he loved carbohydrates, healthy carbohydrates. He also loved his beer from time to time. He wasn't an alcoholic. He loved exercise. Yeah. And I believe for some reason in people and all of us, there are risks that we don't understand why you get the disease or someone else doesn't. And so we're explorers. If you're suffering from any depression, anxiety, migraines, bowel problems, skin problems, joint problems, anything you might be suffering from, and you're using an over-the-counter drug regularly, or you're using a prescription drug regularly, there's something going on that likely you're inflamed by a plant-based low animal fat diet. I call it plant protein low fat diet. And that's the cause of, I believe, most disease. Or it could be what you breathe, drink, or gets through your skin. But when I stopped eating plants, I used to use Sudafed and Motrin or Advil all the time, and I lived on these things, right? And then 2 years after I went carnivore, I was looking in my bag and I saw these medications. I said, I haven't touched those in 2 years. And so, but I didn't, it's like, stomach problems. I was on Pepto-Bismol and Alka-Seltzer as a kid, and my mother fed me prunes and coffee to fix all my problems.
Yeah.
And no one thought, wow, your pasta, bread, salad, cereal, because we ate healthy foods.
Right.
My parents cooked for us, oatmeal and steel cut oats and those sort of things.
Yeah.
And we had a healthy lifestyle. It's homemade pizza.
Right.
Was all great. So I think that all of us are suffering in one way. You may not know it until you do something different, like carnivore. Right. Give it 30 days.
Yeah.
Because you might say, well, I feel fine. And back to my friend getting cancer, even my sister getting diabetes at age 4. Why did she get it? Don't know, but it's likely something she was breathing, drinking, or eating, or got through the skin. My bet it's still mostly a plant-based disease because plants are live organisms that don't want to die. And they've been around for 3.5 million years or more, longer than you and I.
Yeah.
And they communicate.
Oh, 100%.
They vibrate. They send pheromones. Yeah. They send electro energy throughout the universe. And so we're just pawns.
Yeah.
We're the prey.
Scratching the surface on understanding that dynamic for sure. Yeah, it's insane. I also have had the experience where I had to take Xanax every day not every day, but probably a few times a week for anxiety attacks.
Yeah.
before I started carnivore, and I have not had to take that medication for the entire time. I've been carnivore for almost 2.5 years now. It's profound. I didn't even realize it until I was doing an interview with somebody. They're like, "Hey, what are some benefits that you've had from carnivore?" I'm like, "Oh wait, I haven't had a Xanax in that long."
What would you say about sort of your ability to see the world more clearly? And I know my anxiety, worry, fear, and I focused a lot on this for a long
Yeah,
time. I did a lot of reading, meditation, prayer, but it was carnivore that sort of cleared the mind, took the brain fog away,
yeah.
and gave me my ability to listen to someone angry or complaining without me getting angry or begin to complain.
Sure. Yeah, I'm definitely operating at a much higher optimal baseline coming from a background of depression and anxiety. Now, yeah, I just respond so much better to any difficult situation that's out there. 100%. 100%. Yeah.
Do you think, again, back to the, we're just, we have damage to our brain. And so our backgrounds are because we've been improperly feeding our bodies, and the toxins, heroin, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine, caffeine, all come from plants.
Yeah.
Name a toxin that comes from ribeye steak.
I cannot. Thank God.
Yeah.
Because I love ribeye. That's so funny. Speaking of ribeye, you talked about your you really beef is kind of your go-to, right? Can you talk a little bit about like what your carnivore routine looks like now after 15 plus years of being a carnivore? How do you incorporate movement and sleep, stress reduction? Because you're a busy man. You have a lot going on. So I'm very curious to hear about your routine.
I typically get up at 3 a.m. every day.
What?
I usually hit the floor and do 100 push-ups.
Okay.
Before I'm out of bed, I'll go through my prayer list, gratitude list. Thank you, God, Lord, Creator, for, and I go through every person in my life, and I like to do that. I practice making my bed right away, but it doesn't always happen that
Yeah.
moment. And I generally will begin my routine to get ready for my 5 a.m. lives. I either, if I'm in New York, I'm usually driving to the office a half an hour, and I'm
Okay.
usually listening to a book, some ideas that I haven't heard about,
Right.
someone like yourself might have recommended to listen to or learn from. I do a lot of audible books.
Yeah.
And actually I'll also go to YouTube and I'll listen to a YouTube interview or something like
Yeah.
that while I'm
On your
driving
drive. Yeah.
on my drive. And then I get to the office. I have books everywhere. Usually grab something on spirituality and faith and positivity. And I get live at 5 Monday through Fridays, typically do that hour work. And I practice full-time medicine. I own and run CNY fertility centers,
Right.
and I'm a workaholic, but I don't work a day in my
Really?
life. But I do now. It's amazing. I'm doing so much more online consults and follow-ups and coaching, more so than ever done. I don't do as much surgery as I used to.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit because I love this keto carnivore environment. I
Yeah.
love this podcasting that we're doing. So I'm inspired by that. But people text me, call me all the time. And I just usually I put them on my schedule somewhere. I talk both carnivore, I talk fertility, do a
Yeah.
little of everything. And I do typically an hour walking on a treadmill every day.
Okay.
Now you can go out on the street and go walk in line, but the way where I'm at and what I choose to do, I do an incline treadmill. I don't, maybe I go, I go up in increments. I start it at 3 miles an hour, and then I go to 3.5 and then 4, and I throw in some Sean O'Mara sprints in there during my 60 minutes. I will often watch something, either YouTube or Netflix.
Okay.
I'm watching The Crown right now
Ooh.
I love The Crown.
My husband loves The Crown.
Oh, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. And but I read Downton Abbey, and I watch Vikings and Game of Thrones, but I'm always watching or fly airplanes. So
Okay.
I learned to fly airplanes at 55.
Nice.
62, I learned to fly a jet. And so every year I have to go to training. So I always watching that stuff.
Nice.
And meal preparation is as long as I have steaks in the freezer or in the fridge, dry aging myself, and either I put it on, or my partner Tia puts it on, and she's not a carnivore, but she's meat centric,
Nice.
and I typically eat one meal a day at night. I like to throw in fasting.
Okay.
I like to do 2 to 3 days a month, 5 to 7 quarterly. Although this last one, I did 5 days, but my stomach afterwards was a little kind of. It's been fighting me for a few days after that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I haven't scientifically figured it out yet. Other than I don't know. But I think fasting is really amazing because food freedom.
Yeah.
And if you haven't done it, you need. I mean, I do one meal a day. That's at least 23 in one.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to do. And carnivore gives you more food freedom than anything. If you're not into fasting, I don't know, eat meat 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And fatty meat and butter, and that's what I do. And I usually get to bed by 8 o'clock. I'm in my rest mode. 9 o'clock, I'm asleep, and I typically do maybe 1, 2, or 3 10-minute naps a day. And it's back to meditation and prayer.
Okay.
That's my usual.
Have you found being carnivore has improved your sleep? Because if you wake up at 3 a.m., you go to bed by 9, that's 6 hours. Are you feel, and you're very energetic. Do you feel good with that amount of sleep?
Well, I don't think we're meant to get straight sleep ever. I mean, you're out in the wilderness, sleeping under a tree, you're watching your family, and you hear some creeping going around. I mean, you're alert.
Right.
And so I think this idea you have to get this straight hours of sleep, it doesn't make any sense to me. The other night I fell asleep I took a nap, and then I woke up. I took 6 to 8, and then I woke up until like 2 or 3 in the morning. And then I get back up at 5 or 6 in the morning because I got to get to my live and stuff. But I just take naps.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wow, that's great. And my office has couches. I can sleep on the floors. It's easy enough. I mean, where'd you sleep for the first 3.5 million years, right?
Exactly.
But I think my mindset, I never say, oh, I can't sleep. Oh, I get lousy sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, this is miserable. I was like, if God wakes me up, he wants me to do something.
Right.
I'll read something, I'll watch something, I'll write something, I'll paint something. And, I do painting, pottery, I occasionally hack my guitar.
Nice.
And so I think it's our mindset. You can convince yourselves anything.
Agreed.
And that's why I don't like to use the words I'm an addict, or I'm incapable, I'm not smart enough. I mean, we're all addicts. We're eating food. Like if you don't eat food, you're dead. Why is milk so beautifully sweet? Because it's supposed to convince you to drink as much as you can to get fat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I come from an addiction background. I was a heroin addict for 14 years. Well, I've been clean for 14 years now. I was a heroin addict for maybe 8, but I also do not like to use the word I'm an addict, former addict, recovering. I'm recovered. I'm a completely different person than I was back then. And I really, I dive deep into the self-talk. It's so important. I used to have such a negative self-talk script going on in my head all the time. And I don't have that anymore, but I've worked very, very hard on that. You really have to have the consistent positive thinking and build those neural pathways. Otherwise, they're not going to be used because they're not there.
Right.
You know?
Who are you hanging around with?
Mm-hmm.
What are you listening or watching or reading?
Agreed.
And people are watching murder mysteries, reading, all this murder mystery stuff.
Lots of news.
But if you can watch the news in a way that is sending prayers to those that are suffering around the world and helping them find a center, because we're all going to die. When and how we die, I have no idea. Right. I mean, the universe knows what it's doing. It's done this before,
for sure.
And it's interesting if you look at heroin, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine, caffeine, and alcohol, right? These are all highly manufactured and manipulated marketing of they're good for you,
right?
Or you got to try this,
right?
And in fact, plants in our human nature, all kind of our there's a symbiotic relationship. But when I read Marcus Aurelius and I read the Stoics and the Tao Te Ching, and And ultimately, these ancient stories are who we are. And if you go back thousands of years, imagine our ancestors on the hunt, right? And we're you're not going to school, you're getting in life, you're going on the hunt, you're working in the around the fire and around the community from the day you're born, pretty much, right? Mother's not delivering your baby and going on 6 months of leave,
Right.
right? You're wrapping that baby on your back or your belly, and you're getting out there and doing your natural survival methods. I mean, there's no survival today.
No.
Someone delivers something to you, but the marketing is the downside of the message that we've led down the wrong trail.
For sure. I think maybe one of the reasons why there's such an existential crisis of mental health is because we don't have to survive anything anymore. A lot of people don't have they feel like they don't have purpose because everything is just handed to us on a silver platter. What do you think about that?
Well, what's your purpose? Wait a minute. I get up, the TV news is on first thing, and the food's delivered. Someone's prepared it in a box, right? Hello, this or that, which is kind of crazy to me. And you don't have to hunt or gather or prepare. It's in a box or a bag, and that's our problem. And so find purpose by doing something,
Right.
and the purpose will find you.
Yeah.
And so essentially, I mean, I'm so purpose driven to share this message because I suffered as a child and a young adult, and even as a older adult. I'm 69 years young. I feel younger than I've ever felt. And I tell you, it's through faith in God and the very, very narrow diet of a carnivore diet that I consume. Could you do it as a vegan, vegetarian, Mediterranean? But you can, right?
Yeah.
So I'm on an all nutrition, but I think peanut allergies or allergies that kill people from small amounts of something are on the rise.
Yeah.
And the best thing you could do is go to a very narrow diet like the lion's diet, and fatty meat, salt and water, raw to rare is what I say. Eat less frequently, but read the Bibles, write the Bibles, share the Bibles. And again, there's not one religion here.
Right.
It's human evolution of the stories, because ultimately we want to sit and chat, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Or listen to someone else
It's so
chat.
much fun.
It is so much fun. It is so much fun that we're driven to it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. How has your, personal philosophy with the way you live your life, the way that you eat, how has that influenced how you treat your patients in your fertility clinic?
Well, I can't shut up. Sorry about that. Look, my job as a healthcare practitioner,
Yeah.
a coach, cheerleader, physician, surgeon, is to give you knowledge that you choose what you want to do, not me.
Right.
And so I want to give you all the things in the toolbox, including nutritional concepts, ideas, meditation, prayer, and faith ideas, doing some exercises that are not heating up your body. Excessive exercise is not good. Slowing it down, yoga, tai chi, go for a walk with your friend or by yourself, and these things. So the big change. Oh, and I integrated acupuncture, yoga, meditation, prayer, and nutrition. We created CNY Healing Arts to be part of CNY Fertility,
Okay.
which melds these things. So we offer acupuncture and we recommend all these things. And I've written books and podcasts and blogs and keep talking about it.
Right.
And this is what sort of my purpose and passion. This is religious.
Yeah.
And religion is realignment. It's not control. I think someone had a great message to help the masses to live a better life.
Yeah.
And I think religions have helped civilization in so many ways, but there's been a lot of downside, obviously.
Yeah.
But if I can give you the knowledge through my experience and the power to make decisions, whether you want to go to standard medical treatment or you want to do some alternatives,
Right.
integrative, functional, whether it's red light therapy or ozone or it's ice cold water therapy and to me cognitive therapy is so important in all of this. Think as if what you want is there and imagine whatever shows up is better.
Yeah. Visioning is so important.
Visioning.
So you have a really holistic approach in your clinic. It sounds like.
I work to share that with all of our clients.
Okay.
And I call them clients, brothers and sisters, our community, really.
Yeah.
Because the patient-doctor relationship is hierarchical.
Sure. A lot of power dynamics.
Power dynamics. I mean, my docs often say, this person isn't listening to me. Let's kick them out of the practice. I'm like, who are you? Right?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And even if a patient argues with us or gets mad or upset, I'm like to everyone, listen, isn't this the dynamic of human behavior that whatever's causing them to be infertile or have this disease also affects our mindset, that we get angry, sad, mad, depressed?
Oh, for sure.
Don't we all need to just step back, listen, learn, even touching and holding and hugging appropriately consented? I think we don't talk about those sort of things because we're so pushed back.
Yeah.
And that's not our nature. I'm Italian. I grew up kissing, hugging my father and my brothers. We all are that way, but we've created a world like, oh, you can't do this.
Right.
And I can tell you that Mrs. Hafner hugging and kissing me in the 4th grade changed my life in a positive way. It was a communication of, wow, I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think humans, we're built for touch.
We are.
And without that, you're definitely lacking in something. I think that's another issue that we see in society is people are not getting hugged or having physical contact with people enough,
I've been running my business for 30 years and we used to have huggles.
Nice.
We'd have either weekly or monthly meetings where we'd all gather together. We'd share our stories. We'd get in a group arm to arm, and that's a connection that I think we're losing in our world today.
Yeah.
And we're told you can't talk about God and you can't touch.
Yeah.
And I think when we learn to honor and respect each other, everyone believes in God and or a higher power.
In something, for sure.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. There's very few people that believe in nothing.
Yeah.
Very few. Yeah. I think agnostic is probably the more go-to for people that are just like, I just don't know.
Well, I became an atheist. I was raised Catholic. I became an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
And because mostly I didn't even understand. I couldn't read. I didn't understand. I saw pictures. I didn't know what God was, right? Yeah. All this stuff up on the altar and things like that. And until I went through some challenges and struggles and drama. And I began to look towards meditation and prayer, but then I began to dig deep in the historical nature of humans and God. And I usually ask people, do you believe in God? And many people say, no, I don't, but I believe in a higher power.
Right.
Then people say, well, no, I don't believe in God or a higher power. I say, well, do you believe in yourself?
Yeah.
Everyone says yes.
Yeah.
I say, well, that's God. Because our consciousness is the creation of the outside world.
True. Yeah. 100%.
That's science. So Dawkins.
Yeah. I've touched on his work a little bit, but it's a little too stark for me.
but he hasn't realized the truth that it's all is God.
Right.
There's nothing but God.
Yeah.
Because God is the label we've given to the highest power and creator of everything.
Yeah.
But in fact, if you're thinking a good day, bad day, right day, wrong day, easy day, hard day, by changing your thoughts, you can change the outer world.
That's true. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Isn't that God?
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Yeah. I don't follow any kind of particular religious philosophy, but I definitely there's an energy, I call it the universe. That's what I focus on. And there's definitely something there. I've experienced it for myself, in my, addiction and rehab, issues and things like that. And just some of the things that I've been through. It's something that's unquestionable to me now. But when I was a kid, I was just like, I have no idea. I was just aching for purpose. And I think that's kind of what drove me to the drugs in the first place. And then coming out of it is kind of, I started to find that
Well,
purpose.
psilocybin, ayahuasca, marijuana, alcohol, all these drugs are there,
Mhm.
but there's lack of purpose because there's no hunting and gathering anymore. There's no
Right.
building your shelter anymore.
Well, or living within a tribe where there's like maybe 100 people tops and you all have a
Yeah,
job.
right.
That doesn't exist anymore. And I think it should to some degree. Like you have to find that tribe for yourself. Figure out where do you fit in your tribe? What is your job? What purpose do you bring to the table?
Helping others.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I learned early in life. Help others, help my parents,
Yeah.
help community, and go out and volunteer. I volunteered at the Los Angeles Free Clinic way back when.
Nice.
And that was just, I love
Yeah.
that.
I loved it too.
And helping others.
Yeah. Yeah, I find a lot of purpose in that. I think that's one of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel. I think that's definitely one of the reasons why you started yours. There's something to trying to pay it forward, I've gotten so much from this lifestyle. Just, I want to share the healing with other people.
Go to the meetups, go to the Keto carnivore conferences.
Mhm.
Again, doesn't matter your gender, size, shape, age, weight, doesn't matter your religious belief, political beliefs, or current nutritional beliefs.
Yeah.
And we're on a journey, and human beings are community culturally based.
Yeah.
And I think that we are spiritual storytellers.
Yeah.
It's fairy tales. We'd love to hear the purposeful, positive story to help you from hard to great. And James Allen, Joseph Campbell.
Joseph Campbell.
I
So good.
read so many. The
Yeah.
Alchemist, one of my favorite books. Paulo Coelho, and I'm so, but without hardship,
Yeah.
without troubles
Oh.
and problems, you wouldn't be who you are.
Yeah.
And so it's the nature of the stories. There's nothing, you're no less of a person because of all the challenges and hardships you've gone through. You're more of a human being.
You're more of a person. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think when you meet people that haven't done anything or had anything hard happen to them in their lives, you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell they're very self-centered, very narcissistic. I like the people that have been through some hard stuff. Those are my people.
Hard hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But it will.
Oh, it will. That's life.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. That's so
Right.
funny.
So I like to visualize what I want in a dream.
Yeah.
It always shows up.
Yeah, no, I have the same experience. I learned that skill many years ago. It's not. I don't like the hokey, like The Secret, the book The Secret, where it's like if you just vision it, it comes. Like you also have to do the work, prep yourself for it, and sometimes, like you said, what comes is not maybe what you expected, but something better or something different that then leads you in a different path.
God is always working in your favor. And I use the word God because that is the label we human beings have
Right.
given to the universe, the highest power, the spirit of life. And so the reason they wrote the Bibles is they wanted to write down the secret to life.
Right.
It's in the stories.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's in the stories. So keep sharing and telling the stories. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Is share and tell the stories of your hardships, of my hardships, of human hardship, and keep at it and don't stop doing that.
I love it. Well, you do a really, really good job of it, Dr. Kiltz.
I love it. Jenny, well, you do an amazing job also.
Thank
And
you.
I again, the beauty, I did blogging 20 years ago.
Mhm.
5 people, I think, watched it. It was just on
Yeah.
I had a website called Mind, Body, Smile. And then COVID hit, and I was like, what am I going to do? And so here I am, and here you are.
Yeah.
And our paths would have never met,
Oh, yeah.
likely, without COVID.
It's very true. I didn't start my YouTube channel until COVID. My first YouTube channel. This is my third YouTube channel. But yeah, it was 2020. That was it.
What is your goal and purpose in all of this and in life?
You know, I guess I started because I wanted to share my journey, my health improvements with people. But now I have a vision in my head of I would love to see all of America, really all of the world, but let's just start with the 300 plus million people here. If everybody was metabolically healthy,
Yeah,
just metabolically healthy, can you imagine the amount of creativity and ideas and productivity and just cool stuff that could happen? Because when you're sick, you you don't that's all you are.
that's
You
right.
just feel like crap. You don't want to get up in the morning. You're definitely not going to be like, "Ooh, let's write something or record something or find some way to cure something." That's not going on. So yes, if everybody could just get to optimal baseline, I see an amazing world. That's my vision. And I know I'm not gonna get there by myself, of course. It's with working with other people and building the community and stuff, but that's my ultimate goal is just if I can help people get to optimal baseline metabolic health that after decades of being unhealthy, that's
Yeah,
kind of my
yeah,
my goal
yeah.
with
But
this whole thing.
without those troubles,
Yeah,
you wouldn't have these treasures
right,
and
exactly.
and sharing it. Your go-to meal every day.
My go-to meal, bacon, eggs over medium, cooked in a ton of butter,
Yeah,
and, ribeye steak. I do
nice.
medium rare. I'm not as rare as you.
Rare to raw with
Yeah.
salt
You're
and
like, "I just want it straight from the cow."
you're going to any meetups this year?
Oh, yeah.
What's your next one?
Tons. Meat stock,
Yeah.
baby.
Oh,
We're both going to meat stock.
that's going to be so much fun.
Ugh,
And it's
can't wait.
important that you're there too.
Mhm.
And again, if you're vegan, vegetarian, Mediterranean, pescatarian, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're like, we're curious, that's what this is really all about.
Yeah, totally. I do wanna finish up
Yep. Okay. Keep
with
going.
no, I have a special thing that I do with all of my carnivores that I interview, and that is some rapid fire carnivore questions. So, are you down?
I'm down.
All right, let's do this. What is your number one tip for a new carnivore?
Eat meat.
That's very
Just eat meat.
yeah,
Keep it simple. Eat
yeah,
meat and anything meat, animal based meat. And animal based is not a plant. It's not a fruit.
right.
I'm sorry. It's eat meat.
What are your thoughts on conventionally raised versus grass-fed, grass-finished meat? Do you think people can do this well on conventionally raised meat?
I have no idea what my food ate. I don't care.
Yeah,
Fatty meat is what I like to eat.
okay.
I don't care if it's, I mean, obviously, I think for our environment, as we want to see our future,
Sure,
grass fed, grain finished, but off the grass,
right,
because I'm sorry, those grasses do create seeds
right.
that the cows can eat on the grass. And that's probably the best. And probably live longer and get fattier over longer time, maybe something else. But
That's not something
I
you
don't think it
concern.
matters personally.
Okay, cool. What is your favorite carnivore food? I think we touched on it a little bit, but
I mean, it's ribeye steak,
yeah.
and I love the tomahawk, fattiest ribeye steak that I can eat, and that is really it. Salt and butter. I often will make a little bit of butter and blue cheese,
Mm,
and I typically cook my meat under the broiler in a pan. All the fat is collected,
mhm,
and then I pour that right back over the steak.
nice. Okay. If you were stuck on a desert island, what 3 things would you bring? Doesn't have to be carnivore, it's just anything.
Desert island. Mm, mm. Boy, that's
It's a tough one.
a tough one. Um, a Swiss Army knife, some tool,
Smart.
um, a hat, because you got to protect yourself from the sun sometimes.
True.
Mm. The Bible,
Love it. It's a great
something,
list.
something that's human stories and so eclectic with so many great stories that the Bible is probably the best written and source of knowledge.
Awesome. What is the most common mistake that new carnivores make?
They think too much. is really this is a dumb diet.
Yeah.
And I'm dumb, not very smart. And I say
I
it because
disagree.
it really, but ultimately, that's the beauty of human evolution.
Right.
Because no other animal is seeking advice on what should I eat today or what are my macros, right?
Yeah.
Eat meat, repeat.
Yeah. Until you're full and then
That's it.
don't eat again.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
Right on.
totally. I've encountered a weight loss stall on carnivore. What would be your advice to get the scale moving again?
Love the body size shape you're in, because the universe has created lots of environmental factors that made food scarce. And if you're not fat, you're fertilizer fast. And so the fat on your body is never the cause of disease. It's the food you've been eating and the thoughts in your mind. And so, but okay, uh, walk more, eat less. And meat is still the thing to eat. I typically eat one meal a day, and I go to the gym every day, or I'm just walking out in nature.
Right.
But really, we're too sedentary. I'm at a stand-up desk. I do my walking, but getting skinny is in no animal's favor.
Right.
And we are just biased to think it's better to be skinny. And again, obesity causes no disease. I don't care if you're 600 pounds.
Right.
You're built for survival.
Yeah. Okay. Knowing what you know now, what would you do differently if you were starting carnivore today?
I would skip paleo, keto, Atkins, and just go right to the meat.
Straight to the carnivore.
And really, that is the simplicity of all of this.
Yeah.
It's like, stop thinking so much. You don't need an app, a book, you don't even really need a coach and cheerleader, although
Right.
I think we learn a lot in this phase. But imagine what we did thousands of years ago. Imagine yourself walking down the street, just grabbing plants and eating them as you're walking down the road.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
You'd be dead.
For sure. For sure. All right. Final question. If you were able to go back and give one piece of advice to your 20-year-old self, what would that be?
Listen to your grandmother. I say my grandmother because she was stellar. My grandma, both Angelina Cementelli and Gelsomina Victoria. And listen to the stories that our parents and grandparents have to tell.
Yeah.
I think that's a critical one, because I think we were too busy running off doing other things.
Yeah.
And their stories are all of our stories, and they have rich stories for each of us.
I totally love that. Well, Dr. Kiltz, this was a joy. We're definitely going to have to do this again now that we're neighbors.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And everyone's moving to Florida.
Yeah, I know.
I love it down here. It is great. But I love traveling.
Same.
Upstate New York, all around the country and the world. But what a blessing.
Yeah.
Ginny, thank you so much
Thank you.
having me.
Anytime.